Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you guys my top 10 of Disneyland Paris rides. So it's always kind of a personal thing to create a top 10 because everything likes something else, and it was kind of hard to do because 10 rides is a lot and we don't have that much rides at Disneyland Paris. So anyway, I tried my best. I hope you're going to like it, so let's begin. So for number 10 I chose It's a Small World. Well, why number 10 would you say? I feel like it's a ride you must do when you're at a Disneyland park. However, this song is pretty annoying, as we all know. Once you've been on that ride, you have that song stuck in your head for the entire day. So if you would like to take a piece of advice from me, please do that ride as late as possible on your day. So you can go to bed and just forget about the song. But all in all, it's just a classic and cute ride, and I really think you should do it when you're at Disneyland Paris. Number 9 is Star Tours, The Adventure Continues. So I have like a hate-love relationship with this ride. I feel like it's super well thought of. I mean, the queue is perfect, everything is in Star Wars theme. There are so many different versions of videos you can get, so it's really a whole experience with the 3D and the motion. However, the motion part is where I'm getting now. If you have motion sickness, I would not recommend to do this ride. Sometimes I get a bit nauseous, not always. I don't know why. Last June I went to Disney with my sister-in-law and we went on Star Tours. The ride was over. We were walking down the hallway where they collect your 3D goggles, and yeah, some girl couldn't take the ride and let's just say she made a mess. So we walked away pretty quickly. But yeah, aside from that nasty part, I really recommend you to do this because it has everything. It has the sound, the movement, the visuals, and especially if you're a Star Wars fan, it's a must do. So you really should try that out at Disneyland Paris. Number 8 I chose Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast. Well, I feel like this is a ride that you should do at least once when you're there, because it's very fun to do. But for me personally, one time is enough. But it's a very cute Toy Story themed ride, and it's very fun to have the laser blast and shoot at the thingies. Really tricky part of this ride is the photo. I have them here on my lap. I will show you in a second. I think I kind of know where it is, but when I pose for the photo and I'm like, did they already take the photo? And then I'm like, sure, because I've seen a flash and it must have been our photo. So I go back to shooting, very concentrated, but it wasn't there. So you end up with photos like these. Sorry, Kelly. Especially this. Look at that face. Pure concentration. So yeah, don't try to pose for the photo because it won't work, but still a fun ride to do. Number 7 I chose Ratatouille The Adventure. Once again, I love it. I love the movie. I love the ride. I mean, everything about the ride just makes sense. It's a 3D ride, so that always adds something extra to it. But you may get a bit nauseous if you have motion sickness. So yeah, when I've done that ride, I'm always a bit wobbly on my feet, like I need to calm down for a minute before I do something else. But yeah, I really love it. Even the smell, when you go into the fridge, you can smell the oranges. The only thing I'm a bit scared of, because I'm a bit of a chicken when it comes to 3D, is the part where you are going to flee and you have that huge hand so grabbing at you, and I'm like, ain't gonna happen to me, so I put off my goggles and just watch like a crazy person, because when you don't wear your goggles and you see something 3D, you're going a bit nuts. So however, what I do recommend when you go on this ride and you're not with your family, or you're just with a friend or a small group of people, you should really do the single rider line. Why? Because it's so much faster than the normal line. Because the normal line could be like 90 to 120 minutes, and the single rider line will be 10 minutes. And then they say 10 minutes, but usually you can walk straight onto the ride. So, and if you're lucky, you even get to sit in the same mouse. So, well, I would say that's quite a good tip, so use it. So my number 6 is Peter Pan's Flight. Well, everyone that has been to Disneyland Paris knows that that ride is a bit of a pain in the, you know. Why? Because the queue is always so long, and it takes so long to stand in a normal queue and get on the ride. So I won't recommend doing that. You should really get a fast pass. But again, those fast passes, I mean, it's like they're giving out free gold or something. I don't know what it is, but if you go to the ride like 12 o'clock or something, usually all the fast passes are already gone for the entire day. So you should really do that the first thing when you arrive at the park. About the ride, I really love it. It's very cute, and maybe it's because you can't go on it that much because the queue is always so long that it stays this much fun. The thing I especially love is when you fly over London and you see the tiny cars meet you. You see all the headlights. I mean, so detailed and very cute, and really a must do. I usually always try to do this at least once because of the fast pass thing, and well, sometimes I forget and then I'm too late and I can't go on it anymore. I've also had a few times with this ride that I decided, oh well, I'm going to stand in a normal queue and then we'll see what happens, and it broke down twice on the same day and the next day again. So you should get a fast pass. And for my number 5, I know someone who's going to scream when I tell this, I chose Phantom Manor. Now, people that know me know that I'm not a big fan of anything scary or horror, and I didn't like Halloween, and yeah, I don't like spooky stuff because it's just freaking me out. And well, before the renovation I never went on it. I was at the park with a friend of mine and the parade was almost on, and she was like, oh, I really want to go on Phantom Manor. We can go very quick because it's only a 5-minute queue. And I was like, nope, ain't going to happen. I will just stay here and watch the parade and you can go straight back to Phantom Manor. I'm not going with you because I will probably be scared and not sleep for a whole night or a week. Anyway, the renovation came and it was, I believe my first time I went on it was Halloween last year. So perfect season to first experience Phantom Manor. And it kind of freaked me out, especially the Phantom itself. I really don't like the part where he stands laughing with a shovel next to the coffin, and of course we got stuck right there. Well, I've made some progress because now I can go on that ride without closing my ears or putting my hoodie on, and it's safe to say that I'm starting to love it. I really like the story behind it. It's very dark but so well thought of. And last trip, which was March this year, I believe we did it 9 times or something because it was super quiet and cold and rainy and we wanted to sit down, and yeah. So number 4, and I must say from this time it got really hard to choose because my top 4 is like, I don't know, they could be mixed around, and I don't know, but I think I like it this way. But my number 4 is Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't even know what to say. I love this ride. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I love the movies. It even got better after the renovation when they added Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow, excuse me. Sorry. And I just love it. There's so much to see, and every time you do it, you see something different. And well, I'm looking at a few ride photos now, but I know where the camera is, so I know where to pose. So I'll start with this one. Strike a pose. And I probably have more. Let me see. Oh, my friend is going to hate me for showing you this, but once again, strike a pose. I really love this ride. I usually always do this as the first thing when I enter the park. It's a pretty quiet ride most of the times. I mean, not on a crowded day, but if you go later that day, like after the parade or something, it's usually a walk-on. Because there are a lot of people can do that ride. The boats fit a lot of people. So my number 3 is Big Thunder Mountain. I remember going on this ride when I was 6 years old during my first visit. That was in 2002, and we slept at the Disneyland Hotel, and we had this fast pass on which you could skip the lines on every ride as much as you would like, which was a perk of being in a Disneyland hotel. So I remember skipping the entire queue, because we all know the Big Thunder Mountain queue can be long. Very long. But last Halloween it was so busy that even the Fastpass line had a waiting line. So it took us about, I think, 30 minutes to get in to the ride with the Fastpass line. I have no idea how this could happen. Never had it before, but it's a very popular ride and I totally get it because it's very cute. And I especially like it at night when the castle is lit and you see all the lights, and I think it's more beautiful then. I still have to do it during the fireworks, but I don't know, I kind of like fireworks, so I don't think I'm going to do that very soon. And I know where the photo is, so I'm watching at it right now. Once again, strike a pose. I think that after this video you can all guess my favorite pose and a ride when I know where the camera is. And I have some more. Oh, yep. It only sucks a bit that when you're not at the front of your carriage, you won't get on the photo properly. Because if someone in front of you puts their hands up there in front of your face and you go to see the photo and you're like, oh, I pose so well. And then you see the photo and it's like, okay. So my number 2 is Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain. I know not everyone would agree with this. I did Space Mountain Mission 2 and Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain. However, I think it was an upgrade. Please don't hate me for it. I just really like the Star Wars theming inside, not on the outside, because it's just a poster and yay, Hyperspace Mountain. I mean, they could do a bit more on the exterior, but I don't know, I like Space Mountain, how it looks, and I think they should keep it that way and then maybe go back to the previous version, like Space Mountain Mission 3, I don't know. But I do really like the ride. Last time I went on it, I've never had this before, but before the second drop, so you go up again and then they hold you for a bit and you see the big screen with the spaceship getting, I don't know, ruined. And but we got stuck. So we were sitting there like, this usually doesn't happen. And my friend and I were, well, we're not panicking, but I was like, okay, are we going to drop back now, or will we survive? I don't know. But the music stopped and the lights went out. Well, it's already dark, but the special effects and thing all went out. And we were just sitting there, and well, it felt like 10 minutes, but maybe it was only a minute, but we didn't hear anything. So I was like, well, as long as they don't turn on the lights and evacuate us, it's not a very big thing that they can't solve. So all of a sudden we dropped, and it made the ride so much more intense. I don't think the ride will ever be the same anymore, because that was the last time we did that trip. So I'm really curious how it will be the next time I'm on it again. And again, in this ride I know where I can find the camera. So I have a few photos again. I only picked 2 because, yep, strike a pose. And strike a pose. Yeah, as you can see here, I didn't know which way to look yet, because I always look that way, but I believe the camera is somewhere in front of you or here. So I'm still practicing on that, and I hope to get a practically perfect Hyperspace Mountain ride photo one day, but for now it's just a dream. And now, my ultimate number 1. This number 1 hasn't changed in years. It probably won't change in another few years. But it is, insert the drums, Crush Coaster. Now, I love everything about this ride, except the queue, but I love everything about it. It's so cute, and at the same time it's also pretty, well, scary. No, it's more thrilling. It really gets the adrenaline rushing when you're on it. I really love this, and as I already said, I don't like the queue because it's very long, and I don't think the single rider, for me, for when I visited at least, wasn't that big of a difference. So I was like, well, then we could better just wait in the regular line and sit together in the ride. But it usually breaks down like 2 or 3 times when you're in line, sadly, but at least they can fix it very quickly usually. When I went on it the first time, I believe it was somewhere like, I don't know, 2000 and something. I had a circular scarf because it was in winter, and I wore a circular scarf, and I had it like 2 times around my head, so it was still a bit loose. Don't do that. Just don't. Because it has sudden drops and falls. The scarf literally flew off my face, and I felt it go in, and I had to grab it literally above my head to get it back, because otherwise I think I would have ruined the complete ride. But long story short, really do this ride. It's very cute and also very exciting because it doesn't look that thrilling from the outside, but believe me, it's quite intense. So I don't have a lot of tips to shorten your waiting time, because I usually just go and stand in a normal queue. But you could try to go to the extra magic hours and then be there like, I don't know, 30 to 15 minutes before the park opens and stand at the gate. So you'll be one of the first to run into the park, even though you're technically not allowed to run. But yeah. Usually everyone that goes to the extra magic hours at Studios Park goes for Crush. So remember that you're not running alone. Everyone knows that there's such a long waiting line, and everyone loves Crush and wants to do it. So just keep an eye on the app, and when the waiting time drops or when it breaks down and it gets closed, just keep walking a bit around the ride. So when it opens you can go straight back in, and usually the line is not that long. But yeah. Also, I sometimes think that the waiting makes the ride even better, even though waiting is pretty annoying. Because I went to the Veronica event, and oh god, I'm so bad at dates. a few years ago, and the Veronica event was a Dutch event, and at 8 o'clock the studio park was closed for regular visitors, but we had a VIP pass and we were allowed to stay until 1 at night. And all the rides were open. So the first time we did this, barely anyone knew about this event, so it was super quiet. And well, I think we've done Crush 4 times in a row. I mean, we got off, walked out, walked straight back in again, got on, got off. Same went for Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, when I still rode it. But I have to say that after 4 times I was like, nah, I want to do something else. So I think the waiting line actually makes the ride itself maybe a bit better. Now, you've probably noticed that there's one ride missing that everyone else loves. Or most of the people, but I don't. Tower of Terror. Yeah, where do I start? Again, like somewhere in the 2000s I went on this for the first time, and I liked it back then. I think I was like 13 years old, and I liked the thrill. It was very spooky, but I didn't understand anything because it was in French, and my French isn't that good. We went on it, and well, I've been on it quite a few times, but I had this one experience, and it was in the Netherlands at Walibi, and they have this like space shot, this pole that shoots you in the air and then you drop down, and I wasn't secured well enough, so I started slipping underneath the thing you have above you, and I couldn't fall out or anything, but it really scared me. And after that I'm just scared for sudden drop rides. So the whole horror story from Tower of Terror and that experience at Walibi just made it for me that every time I go on it I just find it scarier and scarier. But last time I went on it was November last year, and my friends were like, oh come on, don't be a chicken, it's fun. And I was like, oh, okay, but I warned you guys. Well, I don't think they will ask me to go on that ride again soon. Actually they won't, because I went with one of those friends again in March and she went alone. I cried. I came out with wobbly legs. It was the new version of the Tower of Terror, and we had the ride elevator. I believe it's the scream machine. Well, I couldn't scream because my soul has already left my body somewhere in that ride, I think at the top. But oh my gosh, I was so scared, and no, I really hate that ride. I'm so sorry, but I really hate it. So I'm done with that. So that was my top 10 of Disneyland Paris rides. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you kind of agree with my list of favorites. But if you have a different list, or just want to tell about your favorite ride, or have a Tower of Terror story, just let me know in the comment section below. I'm really curious to find out. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I see you guys again soon. Bye!